Okay, now we're going to do something that is really, really important for your YouTube success, and that is keyword research. The reason that this is important is because YouTube, much like Google, is a search engine. It's just a search engine for videos. So when you compare this to Google, you type in a thing, how to tie a tie, you get a list of answers that will tell you how to tie a tie. And because it's run by Google, there's an algorithm that is saying, okay, these are good videos that we want to show to the kind of person who's looking for how to tie a tie. So the most important thing for you to think about when you're doing this is what kinds of keywords is my target market going to be interested in. So I'm going to give you some examples to try to develop a list of keywords that you can use to then hone down to a title and then hone down to a video. So we're going to work with my niche, which is confidence and charisma. And the first thing that you're going to want to do to try to decide what keywords people might be looking for is use YouTube's auto-suggest. Now, the important thing that you'll see here is that I'm in an incognito window. This is very important because if you're in a normal Chrome browser window, your auto-suggestions that this gives you are going to be based on things that you have already typed into YouTube because it has information about you. It follows you with cookies. So if you don't know how to get to an incognito window, on Google Chrome, you can just go File, New Incognito Window, and here we are. I've already taken the liberty of doing this, so we have this open. So there's no search data other than how to tie a tie for this. So anytime I type in how to, I'm going to get new stuff. And it looks like it already knows that I want to tie a tie. So we'll start a brand new one. All right, so this is a new incognito window. I'm logged in. Just take a look. There is some how to tie a tie, but there's not how to tie a bow tie. So that's how I know that it's not following me in the same way. So things that I have. So I have how to be, and let's take a look. So every time I type in a new letter, it's going to give the suggestions honed down there. So I'm curious how to be confident, how to be charismatic. So I want to see how to be C. Okay, how to be confident is one of the first ones, and it's above how to be cool, cute. Charismatic is below it, how to be confident while speaking. This is another thing that you'll start to realize. You might not be able to rank, and in fact, I have a tough time taking, even with 25,000 subscribers, for these really short keyword things like how to be confident. That's why what you want to target sometimes at the very beginning are these long tail keywords. And long tail keywords just means that it's how to be confident with something else on it. So I type in how to be confident space, and I see what the longer tail searches that people are doing are. These are going to be easier for me to rank for. So I've got how to be confident while. And if I typed in how to be confident and made it even longer tail, in how to be confident in yourself, interview, basketball, school, these are the types of things that I could potentially rank for very easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a list of these things, and you can start writing these down in a separate file or folder. So I've got how to be confident. The other ones that I like to do, I like to start with how to be more. You can look at that, more productive, more flexible, and then start typing in the certain letter of your niche, whatever it is. So if you have a how-to style niche, go ahead and do that. The other thing is, if you have a keyword and you're not sure where to start, you can just type it in. So you've got Blender, okay, Blender tutorial, right? If I type in a space, it's going to give me everything that has Blender and then a space. If I type in a space before Blender, actually this is only going to work on Google. I'll show you over here. Blender. If I type in a space before Blender, I get the things that people are searching before that word. So a beauty blender, a Vitamix blender. Assuming that blenders is your niche, that's something that you can then take back. So I might type in beauty blender. I have no idea what this is, but okay. So now we've got beauty blender tutorial. So get really creative. This is one of the best tools that you have to try to figure out what keywords people are looking for. And there are tools out there that do this, but I am not beyond just typing in how to be C space, right? E, see how to be emo, right? How to be W, right? And just taking a look at the things that are very common searches that people in my niche might be searching for. That's how I came up with how to be funny. I didn't think about that, but that's something that people are looking for that is related to confidence and charisma. So say that you've got your list now. You've gone through this and you've been like, okay, we've got how to be confident, how to be charismatic, how to be funny. You've got a couple of the keywords that you think people are looking for based on this auto-suggest feature. The next thing that you're going to want to do is get a general idea for about how many people are having that search. And this is not an exact science with YouTube, because one of the reasons is that Google doesn't give that search data out. So there's a couple ways that we can go about trying to get a guesstimate of what that is. The first is called Google's Keyword Planner. So you just can Google the Google Keyword Planner, and you're going to have an AdWords account for this. So you go to the Google Keyword Planner. I'm already set up with AdWords, so I sign in, and I will sign in. It's going to load my account data, which you should have, and I think it's going to take me to my account settings here. Great. So this is what the Google AdWords Keyword Planner looks like. The first thing that you're going to want to click is search for new keywords using a phrase, website, or category. It's going to come down your product or service, your landing page. There's a lot of really fascinating ways to use this, but keeping it simple, and I think the best way, is to start with those things that you generated from the autosuggest. So I have how to be charismatic, how to be confident. I don't think caps matter, but I'll keep it even. How to be funny. So you can have a long, long list. You can type in 15 things. I like to clump them in groups of 5 to 10 or even 3 in this case. So the next thing I'm going to do is just take that over, click Get Ideas, and see what it generates for me. So if you're not familiar with the Google Keyword Planner, it's a really, really powerful tool. I'll explain what it is. There's a lot of information going on here. I'm going to hone down on the stuff that is most important for you. So first off, you got targeting. You can target by just specific places that you want to go. I keep it at all locations, but if you know that your market is only in one country or something like that, feel free to limit it down. It's still going to be heavily skewed towards US searches because you're speaking I'm assuming in English. So the first thing they're going to see is this Ad Group Ideas tab. And what this does is it takes the things that you've typed in, which you can see right here. If I wanted to add any more, I could just type in a comma right here and add something to it, click Get Ideas, and start over. But it's got the things that I've given it: how to be charismatic, how to be confident, how to be funny, and it's given me suggestions. And it has also associated the average monthly searches through Google. This is not through YouTube, keep in mind. This is the amount of people that are searching the Google search engine for these types of keywords. Competition, don't worry about this. This is just for the AdWords platform, right? That doesn't mean that there's not a lot of organic competition. It could be very, very competitive, but not a lot of people are paying to rank on AdWords, and that's the suggested bid. This is an AdWords tool, which is why there's all this stuff. But say that I'm looking through here, and I might find, okay, we got a lot on confidence, becoming confident. And interestingly, if I look at this, I see that building self-confidence is one of the more popular. If you look at it, it's got over 11,000. Same thing with gaining confidence. So I want to hone down on this. So I click this. How to gain confidence. Interesting. I wasn't going to look for how to gain confidence, but now that's a keyword that I have. So I write that down on my list, and I can even look how to gain confidence. And if I wanted to go for those long tails, I might go, oh, interesting, how to gain confidence in yourself, or how to gain confidence and self-esteem, or if I'm even more honed down, how to gain confidence in public speaking. That's a long tail keyword that I can then take back because I'm curious. Okay, say that I like this now, so I've copied that over. Whoops, that's not what I want. How to gain confidence in public speaking. I'm going to get ideas. So it's reloading. It's going to redo all this based on that. Now, you'll notice here, nothing has changed in the Ad Group Ideas tab because these are still words that are associated with the ones that I did. And I didn't really change the searches. It just showed me more. Here's more confident, which is even more popular. When I want to see the exact volume of the keywords that I typed in up here, I click this tab here, Keyword Ideas. It's going to take a second to load, and it's only going to show me now the specific keywords that I've searched for. So now I've got the average monthly searches on the Google platform. Keep in mind, this is not YouTube for these searches. And I've got how to be confident, very popular, 33,000, and how to gain confidence in public speaking, only 140. Interesting. So let's go back and see what else people are searching for here. So that one's a little bit small. I'm looking for at least several hundred views or searches per month in Google, because for many searches, they're more popular in Google than they will be in YouTube. Certain things are going to be more popular in YouTube, like music videos and that kind of stuff. But typically speaking, I want it to have at least several hundred before I write it down as a viable keyword. So let's go back. So I don't want public speaking. Let's try how to gain confidence in yourself. And the reason that I went back to that, just to make clear, it ranks these in order of popularity. So from top to bottom, in yourself is more popular than in self-esteem, is more popular than with women, all the way down to the bottom. So let's go back here. How to gain confidence in yourself. Interesting. Now that is that's looking like a keyword if I've got a beginning channel that I'm going to feel good about doing, because it's got 880 average monthly searches. So that's really interesting for me. I want to write that down as something that I am interested in doing. So this is the general process. You're going to bounce back and forth between the keyword planner, the auto suggest tool, and this is going to help you come up with a list of interesting ideas. I do want to introduce you to one more tool, and this one is interesting because while it doesn't give you the exact amount of searches, it shows you YouTube searches, and that is Google Trends. So let's go over to Google Trends now. You can just Google Trends. Click it, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to explore talk of it. So how to gain confidence in yourself. The thing with Google Trends is it's not as precise of a tool, right? So this 100 just means it's relative to 0. So nobody was searching, and then relative to 0, a lot of people are searching. That doesn't tell me a lot. So this is 2004 to present as well. I want to go past 90 days, and this is important. I want to go YouTube search. Now this is very common. When you have keywords that only have less than several thousand searches per month, they're not going to show up on Google Trends. Google Trends is about big trends. But there might be some cases, say that you've gotten your channel to a point where you're like, you know what? I think I can rank for some of those bigger keywords. I can try how to be confident, and I can compare that to, okay, interesting, how to be more confident. And I can compare that to how to gain confidence. Okay, and I'm going to delete this. So what you don't realize is that I've since deleted that. This is going to compare these relative to one another. So while I don't know how many people are searching, I do know that how to be confident is much more popular than how to be more confident or how to gain confidence on the YouTube platform in the last 90 days. So this is a really good tool as a tiebreaker. I often use this. I do charisma breakdowns, and when I'm trying to figure out which person I should do charisma breakdowns for, I'll show you, just recently we were between some people. This is where I go. So I'm curious what's going on with this. One of the recent ones we did was on Donald Trump, who is very popular right now. Okay, so there's Donald Trump's over the past 90 days, and I was curious if someone like Jim Carrey could even stand a chance. I wanted to do a comedy breakdown. And Jim Carrey wasn't searched off enough, so hold on. If I get the actor Jim Carrey, where is he? Do I spell it like this? There he goes, 2 R's. So this is Jim Carrey related to Donald Trump. And the reason that his is hashtagged, or hyphenated rather, is because I actually indicated to Google who I was talking about. Here's Donald Trump. So when I look at these and I'm going, okay, I want to rank, I want to get in front of more people. Who's going to be more popular? It looks like Donald Trump. And I can add up to 5 of these people and type them in to see which one. So this is a really good tool. Once you've gone through the YouTube auto suggest and you've got the keyword planner, if there's enough volume behind those, you can go to Google Trends and see which one is going to be the tiebreaker. That's really, really valuable when you're between keywords for titles. So that's it for keyword research. These are the main tools that you're going to want to use. You're going to spend a lot of time here. And the important part now is what this has given you is the raw materials to craft a really compelling title, which is what we're going to talk about next.